Roll call.
Counselor Lehman?
Here.
Counselor Matthew?
Here.
Counselor Kuechly?
Here.
Mayor Swanson?
Here. We'll go over the proposed budget for 2017. Tonight we're going to do the library, the recreation board, and their law enforcement. So we'll start with the library fund.
All right. Our library, we have that our required amount for the ALS contribution or whatever. We're at the same amount as last year's budget, and we're staying within budget. There's some wages are a little bit higher. We've cut a few other things, some events, funding for events, but we've been able to make all that up with fundraising and stuff this year. So nothing too detrimental. We cut our book budget a little bit, but again, last year we made that up with, we got a couple grants and donations. Do you guys have a copy of this?
Yeah, we've got the budget in front of us, Dan.
Yeah, the main was wages went up. What was it?
And health insurance is
and health insurance is a big one. Other than that, most other things we were staying under budget, or we should have no problem keeping the same services and events as we've planned before. So that's the good news on the library. The library is pretty straightforward.
I'm drawing a blank here. On item down the line under insurance. Is that what the city pays for the insurance?
No, that's
Which insurance?
down below.
Under
360?
360 insurance.
That's property and liability.
Okay, that's just for that building only?
Yeah, and contents.
Wow.
Do we ever price out insurance providers, or are we limited?
We're with the league,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
so it's usually pretty competitive.
Okay.
Is that, so we're looking at the budget being 13.6 roughly more?
No, the budget's the same as last year.
What we're looking at here, Dan, is a little different. It says the 2016 budget came out to $47,536.
There's two.
The second page.
Second page.
Oh, second
Oh, I'm
page.
sorry.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that, Dan.
So the total library budget is 71,000,
977.
Oh, I see.
which is the maintenance of effort that it has to be at every year. The state sets that amount, and that's what we have to give
So
to the
between the
library.
building fund and the library operating
Right, that's where
fund,
we're at.
close.
is this.
you're coming up with all the same numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good thing there was a second page.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, added a few
That's
thousand
all
to you.
right. Okay.
Yeah, that budget's pretty.
You see, if you got it, you got it.
Yep.
The Parks and Rec budget took a pretty big hit with wages and insurances again, because their Parks and Rec is paying 25% of my health benefits. So that's the big increase on that one. And where we're gonna save money is, that's gonna be a hard one. I think we can save with labor. We can, like summer help labor and things like that, and winter help labor. One thing to note is, I don't know, are you guys looking at the same? Do you see the 2015, 2016, 2017 cross top?
Yep.
Yeah, like in the 2015 budget, their initial allotment was 24,000. They ended up spending 29,000 that year. this year so far, with me being on there, with what it would be about 5 months, we should be real close to staying within budget. We'll probably go over slightly, because we were at 25.5 for our annual budget, and then right now we're at 24 at 325. But again, the big cost is the wages and insurance is what's going to be the boosting the budget up to the.
Diana, is that employee paid health, like from that library part is 12,600, then it's also 2,000 something.
The library pays 75% and Parks and Rec is 25%.
Okay.
Because his hours are
30.
30 a week for the library and 10 a week for Parks and Rec.
Well, what I'm saying though is the medical policy for him is around 15 grand.
That doesn't really nice. You've been how long? You've been 5 months on the
Right.
rec board?
I think, well, July, so July, August, September, October, November, I'll have 6 months with this budget. Because July I was on the Parks and Rec.
We started you
July 1st.
July 1st.
July 1st.
So I will have 6 months, and we are,
So January 1st, we'll have your 6-month review.
right.
That was my next
Probation,
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Review on this.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
personnel committee will have to do an annual, or the probationary review, and that may get pushed out to 12 months just because we'll see what's happening with our budget next year too. But I think we kind of expected that the recreation department budget would grow a little bit, bringing somebody in who does receive benefits and a little higher pay. But I think we're going to save a little bit in that budget with a little more accountability with the hours that were being put in.
Right.
Because we have a watchdog now who's going to, and there'll be rules as far as when they should and shouldn't be working and stuff.
Right, I see, just looking at the wages and salaries, that top line is, that's my wages and salaries. The next line, we have budgeted for summer and winter, $8,000 each. That right there, our winter, we're probably gonna save 2,000 on that by next year. We'll save almost, 1,200 on our summer, because our summer labor is over right now. So if we were keeping the same use as we did last year, which was a pretty warm summer. One thing last year we had at the beginning of the summer, we were having staff staying at the beach longer, trying to get all their hours in, and that's one thing we kind of cut back on. We don't
They
need them
had
there
an
if there's
idea that
a
they-
thunderstorm, or we don't need them to go down there and unlock an hour of labor to unlock the restrooms on a stormy day or a cold day, and then, go back and lock them again. So that's where we'll try and make up some of this labor costs. And there were a lot of this other spending, like we had $300, I think we did for the beach blast. We can cut some of that with, most of it last year, we did
You got a lot of
donations. I think I can't remember the exact number we did spend on the beach blast, but I think it was almost under 200.
I know between the library and the beach program, you had spent a lot less on the events, but didn't cut back on the events themselves.
Right, the quality was still there, just
It
the
was.
cost was lower.
So,
Dan, if I may ask, what is the big expenditures for computer expense?
We lease our computers for the library. It's, $195 a month? And we lease them for 3 years, and then there's also it's this endpoint virus protection that I think it's like $10 a month. And our computers are gonna get renewed this this year on this, we'll do it on this year's budget, so we'll have 3 years of new computers that aren't gonna be,
So-
there is gonna be a cost for that.
But you figure this way, you figure that you're ahead of the game by doing it this way?
Yeah, yeah, because, we stay up to date with newer computers, our software's newer. And the computers do get a lot of use there. And it's not just kids, there's a lot of people coming in, especially with the school closing, resumes, things like that. So it's a good resource for everybody in the city. Mayor, I see you there often.
Right, and keeping track of the traffic, the foot traffic at the library, you've seen an increase.
Yeah, quite a bit, yeah. It really has gone up. Once summer was really busy with the kids, that kind of dies down now that they're in school, of course. But yeah, I get swarmed with kids after school, which is pretty cool. Got to keep them down a little bit. They're a little noisy at times, but they're in there. Even if they're playing games, they're at least learning, interacting. That's all good for kids.
What are the beach expenses? What does that consist of?
See, that's one expense. We pay $300 just to have the buoys put in and taken out, because we have somebody goes in with scuba gear. I think we can take them out. We might not be able to put them in because it's going to be pretty cold, or you have to tie the things up down there.
Put them in by boat or canoe?
Well, they have to go down and anchor them, and that's one thing I'd like to see them have, put a buoy or something with a rope hanging and let it float so you can anchor them. But that's $300 right there that I don't think we need to really be spending. And the beach expenses, they went over budget.
The last 2 years anyway.
Yeah, and I don't see how they did. I know there's like toilet paper, or paper towels and cleaning supplies, things like that, but that's how
I think they had sand brought in, so that's also in the
Okay,
beach
that's
expense.
Remember the sand, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was spent, I think, before I got in there.
Shirts and hats and things, there was enough left over that we didn't have to buy any this year.
Right. Yeah, and there's we didn't spend anything on uniforms this year. And I don't like spending money. I'm kind of a stickler, so I know the Parks and Rec is going to be higher, of course, with the extra wages and the extra insurances and stuff like that, but I think we can also cut down the costs, some of the labor costs of the summer help and winter help.
Well, and a lot of what you were doing this year too was working towards that new disc golf course out there, correct?
Right, and I was just talking with, was it Jim Plummer or something? He's the guy at the IRRB, and we have a pretty, they liked it, what we proposed. That's, the city's gonna get a little bit more mowing to do possibly, but we should be able to bring in, another $40,000 for the city for that, which will cover, all of our, all the bricks and mortar type stuff, the baskets, cement pads, things like that.
Where does that 40,000 come from?
The IRRB. Yeah.
And the matching funds we can put in.
Our matching is with labor and with mainly labor is our matching funds.
Are our city staff going to be able to take on the extra mowing, and how much is it?
That, come summer, I might be mowing a disc golf course once we get it going. That's part of my Parks and Rec responsibility. But a lot of it is going to be tree covered. There are some big open areas, but most of it, the one thing about that is probably half of the holes are going to be fairly tree covered, so there's really not a lot of mowing, mainly on that backside and kind of coming in from Park Mountain and through Park Mountain in that area. The main mowing is gonna be by like Jimmy Millich's down in that bowl in there, that area. But it will be added, but I think it's gonna bring in a lot of traffic. I don't know if you've ever driven by Chisholm, in the first exit in Chisholm. I've never not seen cars lined up in
Well,
there.
especially with that one at Hibbing closing down or moving.
Well, that one isn't gonna close down.
No, it's gonna move though.
They do have to move some of their stuff, yeah.
I was wondering, Diana,
Yes.
being that gets open to the public for disc golf, is that gonna affect our liability insurance any?
We'll definitely have to have it listed. You know, it's gonna have to be part of our
Well,
insurance.
right, yeah. Are they gonna look at it and say, okay, you know,
I wouldn't think it'd be.
I don't think it's, no, it's not gonna,
okay.
I mean, we got a skate park that,
Is it gonna have its own budget or is it gonna fall under recreation?
it'll be under recreation.
Yeah, I don't expect that costing the city anything except for, you know, like I said, time to mow it maybe, and minor upkeep, but nothing outrageous. The other thing we can do is, or I'd like to do, is sponsorship of holes and things like that to generate money for it. Local businesses, or I know that Airborne Disc Golf, they're already interested in sponsoring a hole, where they just put their logo on a hole or on the little map for the hole, and, you know. So I'm hoping it'll take care of itself, pretty much. I know Hibbing Disc Golf, they're not incurring huge expenses on their part. They have mowing and things like that the city does, but it's like a park, you know? We have to mow our parks anyway, so.
Not jumping ahead here or anything, but I see the budget for the building itself, I see that drop significantly.
For the
For the library building,
building expenses?
yes. See, that went from 24.4 down to 10.
Yeah, I think we had those steps in there.
Steps in there,
It was like
yeah.
$15,000. Yeah, and we don't foresee everything's up to date on it. That was, elevator work and, there were things back before I even started, but like those steps was that was what's skewing that number, so. What was the final cost on those steps? I think it was like
It was, the total cost was 29 something. We got 15 from the IRRB and we had to
yeah,
put
it was like 30 planning.
But the whole expense hits the expense budget, so.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
And we have our law enforcement.
Our law enforcement budget. The good news is it is decreasing, mainly because our deputy is, I wouldn't call him a rookie, but he's been on the force since December, so his pay scale isn't as high. All the benefits are not as expensive for him as they were for our other deputies. So that's basically where our savings is coming from. So it's about $82,000, $83,000 for St. Louis County for the contract for having a deputy. And then
We budgeted some money in for vehicle.
I did. I put in $6,000 for a vehicle. We budgeted $6,000 this year as well. We have $3,500 in for repairs, which we've already surpassed that in this year for 2016, unfortunately. Gas, oil, the phone, insurance. So we're looking at a total budget of $98,245. So $100,000.
Yeah,
Which
the usual.
is down a bit from the previous year.
Was 2015's repairs and maintenance, that wasn't all mechanicals, was that some of that damage?
Yes, there was hitting the deers.
Yeah.
You know, those were to our insurance company, so we just have to pay the deductible, but that was the total expense
Okay, so that's,
for them. Our deductible, I believe, is $500 for the vehicles. So we spent probably $1,000, a little over $1,000 for deductibles.
and 16 was almost all mechanical.
Mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2016 was a light standard incident, wasn't it?
Well, that was the owl, but that was, we didn't even send that into our insurance just because it was so, it didn't meet our deductible. I mean, our deductible would have been more than the actual repair. So yeah, it was all mechanical.
All right.
So with the new car, you hopefully get rid of some of that expense.
Yes, I mean, that would be there, but
Yeah,
a new car would be
right.
37 to 40
Yeah.
additional dollars. So, something we're gonna have to decide on soon.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking minus, well, with the 12.
Right.
Yeah.
When is the contract up with St. Louis County?
It's open.
It's an open contract.
Yep.
It doesn't go from one time of 1
No,
year to the
we have
next?
to give them, I think it's 60-day notice.
60 or 960?
60, I think it's 60.
Yeah.
I looked it up a couple months
I knew we
ago.
could do that anytime within the contract, but I wondered if it didn't have a, okay,
That contract could go on for 100 years.
Yeah,
or
it
ends
just
in 60 days.
completely renews automatically.
All right. Well, very good. Any other questions? We've kind of gone through the whole thing for tonight. Do we fall within our budget with all the numbers we've looked at so far?
We do. You know, the one thing that needs to be decided is the whole squad car deal before we finalize the budget, the 2017 budget for the December 1st meeting.
All right. Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Dan. We'll move on to reports from department heads, Public Works, Fire and Ambulance. Oh, yeah, engineering. Oh, no, Fire and Ambulance. Go ahead, Ted.
Oh, I see how it's.
We're afraid.
Yeah, no, don't be afraid.
How's it going?
Good. From our grant, we got a bunch of our gear in already. We still have 2 more people to fit up. SCBA's came in, Trino Gear came in, so that grant went real well. We are working on the other 2 grants that we are getting ready to submit. They have to be in by Thursday, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Getting
Are you
those
about
taken-
ready?
Huh?
Are they just about ready?
Josh has worked real hard on it. We pulled a lot of data together, got them to our grant writers, put them together.
That's terrific.
Send them back to us. We edit and then we send off. So I'm doing that, and Josh isn't here tonight because he's actually over across the hall instructing. We have a first responder class over there today, EMR class. We have 4 of our members going through it. No cost. Basically, I say no cost is because there's still money left over from the state fire grant. So this will be a wash, it'll all be paid for. So we have 4 of our members going through that now. So we did lose an EMT, did resign as of lately, so.
What's that?
Sherry Hodak. So, probably moving out of the area, so. But that's about it. Any questions for me?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Josh.
Wow.
We're moving you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. All right. Attorney, so you're here tonight?
Yes, I'm sorry I'm late. I kind of just got hung up, so
That's all right.
I have nothing specific.
Okay. Long-range planning and zoning?
We met the other day to make a decision for the people who had bought that property out north of town here, and they wanted to change it to commercial. And with the vote from our committee, we had all 7 people present, 1 abstaining. We passed to make a recommendation to the city council that we go ahead and change that to commercial for them to build their building for storage. So I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and change that to commercial property from residential.
I'll make the motion, we change the, no, my mind's got a link on me.
How about just support?
Oh, you're making it. Support. I thought you said you were looking for it. Sorry.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? And 1 abstention. I abstained from this. All right. Library board?
Well, Rick.
Or recreation? Yeah.
Rick, well, we didn't have our meeting, oh, here, I'll send it. We didn't have a quorum last night for our meeting, so we have 4 applications were sent in for the rink attendance. Was it 2? 3 of them are previous city workers, so we can save the OSHA training, I think, with 1 of them. 2 of them, or no, they're all, every one of them were city workers.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna reschedule our rec meeting hopefully for next Monday, so we can get board approval from the rec board and then your approval for hiring them. We were planning on hiring them all. And they do know that it's part-time, and I do have a job description and, what we're gonna expect of them. Other than that, we probably won't be flooding the rink for a while until it gets cold. We need the ground to freeze some. But nobody around here usually floods until about the 1st of December. So we should be just in line with getting the staff on there. Other than that, hopefully be open in 2 weeks. Around the 15th of December is what most rinks around here shoot for. Unless, of course, it's colder, but like it has been pretty warm, so.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Dan,
yeah.
What time does your meeting start?
For rec?
Yeah.
At 5:30.
The previous employees, that OSHA training, they were all within the last year?
There's only 1 that had the OSHA training, and it's Keith, and he was a summer worker.
Yeah, he had his training in June.
Okay, so that would...
So he should be good.
And the others had CPR training in June.
Yeah.
Do they need OSHA training for this?
We've never done OSHA training for rink attendance.
Yeah, I don't think they need.
Oh,
Just for our summer help for the
For the mowers.
they don't need it for the snowblowers?
You would think...
I will have to check on that, yeah.
Mowers, yeah. But that's the one thing I know with Keith, we'll have him in there right away is the main thing, is that we'd have somebody allowed to do it without worry of what we need.
Okay. Now move on to library board. Do you have any?
I got
Oh, sure.
one question. All your equipment's up, ready to go?
I've been down there. I haven't, started anything up, but I pulled the hoses out, drained the hose because I didn't want them freezing in there. I'm expecting it shouldn't be too hard to get it running. I don't know what it was done with it last year, but that's something I'll have to look into probably this Friday.
Well, you're right, Stu, because I remember that snowblower was a mess last year.
There was a couple pieces that were broken.
The sweeper,
The sweeper, yeah.
The sweeper deal, yeah.
Broken.
they were gonna bring that down to the garage and fix it. I don't know if that happened.
Maybe you can talk to Trent and see if that was done, Dan, and maybe
Okay.
take a
Well, I'll
look
go
at
down there
the equipment.
this Friday. I have some time for Parks and Rec on Friday that I'm here, and I'll go and,
make
see
sure
if I can get them started or see
Yeah.
what's up with them. Yeah. What did you hear? What was the sweeper? I can
Sweeper.
Yeah, that's, it was a
Was
sweeper.
one of the main thing that was put down last year.
Yeah, it was just the sweeper.
We had to fix a heater in the building.
The heater was fixed.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was fixed.
I was just wondering if you,
I
Started
just
with
went,
stuff or-
I just went down there just to make sure when it was starting to get cold that they didn't leave water in the hoses and so things weren't gonna start freezing while it's not, I don't want things freezing, things like that.
They're talking 10 below Sunday, I heard, Sunday
I
night.
got down to 15, but
is the heat done in the building?
The heat, no, but that's where, I'll be there again this week to check that. And I do have to talk to Trent about that too. I don't want heat on, I want it so we aren't bursting pipes, of course.
Right.
Right.
But, yeah. at
Don't
the
need it
minimum.
toasty, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're leaving it at 55 or whatever the minimum we can keep it at.
Okay.
And as for library, library's going good. Again, like our numbers are up. We have a few, we had our Halloween party. We did pretty well on that. We stayed under budget on that. We had, what was it, about 40 people, 50 people. We played bingo and had costume contests. Kids all had fun. They were happy. Our friends, the library board is really stepping up and helping out with a lot of these events. We've kind of combined a lot of our events so that their friends' events coincide with our events. Like we did our fall bazaar, and the friends did their chili cook-off, so we kind of combined groups, and that was really successful. We had a lot of traffic through there. All the vendors were happy, they did well. The chili made, the friends, they just had their meeting right before this one, and they were up almost 50% from last year on their fundraising.
Good for them.
We'll have a winter reading program will be coming out probably second week of December to get them reading over, holiday break and read all their books they get for Christmas, because everybody's going to get them books for Christmas.
Yes. And a Christmas party, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we will have a Christmas party with Santa Claus. He was just in here talking about and we'll have a soup dinner again. David usually makes soup for that, and that's been really well for us too. We always make good money with that, and that's the kind of things that will fund our library programs, where we were able to cut that by nearly $1,200. So because of this, these fundraisers that the Friends are doing and David's doing and the library's doing and
The board, yeah.
Yeah, and the board. So I think everything's going really smooth. I'm really happy that the Friends are working well with the
Yes.
library board.
Yes.
So that's about all I have for library.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks. Vita, the end of the month, sheriff's not here, clerk's report.
Well, the nursing home demo is going very well.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of people talking about that. I know some people are sad, but it had to come down. It was just a hazard, so that's going really well. The election went well. I just got an email from St. Louis County Elections, and they canvassed their results on Friday. And part of that then is they randomly choose 6 precincts out of all of the precincts in St. Louis County to come in and hand count all of their ballots. So we'll know on Friday if we were randomly chosen or not. If so, then we need to send 2 election judges down to Duluth Monday morning at 9 a.m. to hand count our ballots. So I'm hoping that we're not one of the chosen ones. Tomorrow we have part of our new medical that we switched to, our new plan, we're doing health savings accounts, and a rep from Select Account will be up here tomorrow talking to all the employees and the retirees to set up a health savings account and answer any questions that anybody may have. So that's tomorrow at 1:30. That's about it.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
Is that here at City Hall?
Yes.
In here?
It's going to be in the Beta room, conference room.
Council additions to the agenda? Do we have any additions? I don't think so.
No.
All right. Citizens forum? Linda? No? Okay. Consent agenda minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular minutes of the council meeting on November 1st. Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Claims?
Make a motion to accept the claims of $89,450.34.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, motion carried. All right. Certify the results of the municipal election. The municipal results.
I'll make a motion that we, just need a motion on that.
Yep, just a motion accepting the results.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Any further discussion? I would say Buhl does very well. We had 84% of registered voters in Buhl voting this election, and that, I think, speaks really well of our community, that people care enough to be involved. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Resolution 1631, resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk treasurer to make application related to 2017 infrastructure improvements to St. Louis County for inclusion in St. Louis County's consolidated plan action plan. Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 16-31.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Can I have the...
Counselor Lehman?
Yes.
Counselor Matthew?
Yes.
Counselor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Yes. Resolution 1631, wild rice or 32, I'm sorry, wild rice / sulfate standards. The Minnesota legislature passed legislation in 2011 directing the MPCA to undertake a study to determine the appropriate wild rice sulfate standard and to establish a wild rices advisory panel. Anyway, what we are respectfully asking is that the MPCA take immediate action to remedy the situation that the nonsensical, it will have an open and honest discussion for the proposed wild rice standard rules in public hearings that are set to begin in 2017.
I should add this is being asked of the Rams board from us. I'll make a motion. Support resolution 1632.
All in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Roll call?
Counselor Lehman?
Yes.
Counselor Matthew?
Yes.
Counselor Kuechly?
Yes.
Mayor Swanson?
Yes. Alcohol and Gambling Enforcement Division, this is a renewal of a liquor, wine, and club license for, who's our first one? For the Hideaway.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the on-sale officer liquor license for Jamie Scraggs LLC Hideaway Bar.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Renewal of a liquor, wine, and club license for Billy's Pit Stop Pub and Grub.
We're okay on that?
Yes, I talked to them, and Donna is still the owner, and she will be living in Buhl. She's just going to be gone for like 2 months.
Okay.
Temporarily gone.
I'll make a motion we renew the Billy's Pit Stop on the road liquor license for 2017.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Renewal of liquor, wine, and club license. We're doing good. For the Buhl Curling Club.
I'll make a motion, we approve the liquor license on sale for the Buhl Curling Club.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Certificate to County Auditor on special assessments. This first one is for Sharon Street, improvements on Sharon Street. We have to do this each year. This started in 2010.
I'll make a motion that we, for the certificate to the county auditor on Sharon Street.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Certificate to County Auditor of Special Assessments. This is on France Street between Culver Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue.
I'll make a, go ahead. I'll make a motion that we send a certificate to the county auditor of special assessments for the France Street between Culver Avenue and Pennsylvania.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Certificate of to County Auditor of Special Assessments. This one is for East Monroe Drive renewal.
I'll make a motion that we get a certificate to the county auditor for East Monroe Drive.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Certificate to County Auditor of Special Assessment. This is for improvements on the street on President Avenue in the Damien Addition.
Make a motion that we give a certificate to the county auditor for special assessment for President Avenue.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Certificate to County Auditor of Special Assessments for Wanla Street, Hannah location. Boy, I'm having a good time. Wabagon and that section of road running north and south of France location.
Also move.
All in favor?
I see this is the last installment of that one, so.
Yes, that one is coming to an end, that's good. Certificate to County Auditor of Special Assessments. This is for South Memorial Drive.
Make a motion we send a certificate to the county auditor of special assessments for South Memorial.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Our city clerk is requesting the closing of City Hall for a family situation on Friday. I think she's also requesting Thursday.
Yes, I found out I need to be on Thursday as well.
Friday. Make the motion we close City Hall Thursday the 17th and Friday November 18th.
Is that right?
Yes.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we close our regular meeting so we can go to a closed session meeting.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. I have a motion to open our regular council meeting.
I will make a motion that we reopen our regular council meeting at 7:06.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We went into closed session to discuss the possible hiring of a city clerk, and we will move ahead in that process. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the regular meeting.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.